At the award ceremony where when YILU claimed the Grand Slam of Best Actress titles, the host smiled and asked about her future plans, hushing the entire venue instantly. She took a deep breath and looked toward Zhang Hui in the audience, her agent, and also her husband of 5 years in a secret marriage. Rumors of their ambiguous bond had long spread across the entertainment circle, and fans had shipped them for years. Only the two of them knew they had already obtained their marriage certificate, yet never made it public. Calm yet resolute, when YILU said firmly, "I'm retiring from acting in the industry to start a family." Her words revealed her longing to make their marriage public, sparking cheers and uproar as from the crowd, with all eyes fixed on Zhang Hui. But he merely adjusted his cuffs unhurriedly. Only when the camera turned to him did he glance up and utter casually, "YIU, don't be silly." His tone was that of pacifying a willful child. His blatant rejection instantly plunged the lively atmosphere into awkward silence. Beneath the spotlight, when YIL's hands holding the trophy trembled slightly, the cold chill of the trophy seeped through her fingertips into her heart, and the stage lights stung her eyes. She met countless gazes filled with sympathy, embarrassment and schadenfreude. In the blink of an eye, the celebrated Best Actress was reduced to a delusional fool. She had foreseen this outcome, yet she still chose to take a gamble. Hoping Zhang Hui would respond to her heartfelt wish, and she lost completely. After stepping off the podium, Zhang Hui stepped forward to support her. His gestures were proper yet undisguisedly impatient. He lowered his voice to warn her, "I've told you countless times, never bring this up in public." Over the past 5 years, she had heard such warnings time and again: keep silent, deny everything, and spare him trouble. All his words were wrapped in excuses for the sake of her career prospects, and she compromised time after time. But this time, overwhelming weariness overpowered her forbearance. He pulled her hand away from his grasp and walked straight into the dressing room without looking back. She took out the prepared divorce agreement and termination contract from her bag. She was truly ready to end everything. Memories drifted back to Fontainebleau before she returned home. Back then, when YILU rode a horse alongside Zhang Hui through the woods, autumn winds swirled fallen leaves, and horse hooves rustled across the dry ground. She reined in her horse and turned to ask him when they could make their marriage public, for she had once dreamed of holding their wedding right here. Yet Zhang Hui gave her the same old reply, "Wait a little longer." He claimed earnestly that he had seen too many female celebrities ruin their careers after going public with their marriages, and he refused to let her suffer the same fate. When YILU made it clear she cared nothing about career setbacks, yet all she saw in his eyes was ambition and desire, never the sincere answer she yearned for, her heart sank in despair. She mounted her horse and galloped away, booking a flight back home that very day. Before boarding, she sent him a message, only receiving a perfunctory reply of "have a safe trip," polite yet distant, without a single inquiry about her sudden departure. 5 years ago, when YILU was just an extra struggling in Hengdian Film Studios. After being abruptly replaced in an audition, she broke down and wept alone in an alley behind the hotel. It was then that Zhang Hui appeared, dressed in a plain white shirt with an elegant demeanor. He introduced himself as an agent and offered to help her rise to fame. Having no way out, she agreed without hesitation. At that time, Zhang Hui was a second-generation migrant in Hong Kong, whose parents ran a barbecued meat shop. Majoring in media studies, he had no connections, resources, or artists under his wing. The two penniless souls supported each other, striving to gain a foothold in the competitive entertainment industry. They endured untold hardships during their toughest 2 years. To secure opportunities for her, Zhang Hui drank relentlessly with investors until he suffered gastric perforation. When YILU rushed non-stop between work schedules and even fainted in the dressing room, only to wake up finding Zhang Hui always by her side. Whenever others bullied her, the usually mild-mannered Zhang Hui would stand up and fight fiercely to protect her. Their studio gradually expanded from a tiny shabby apartment in Mong Kok to a high-rise office in Hong Kong's central business district. On the moving day, standing before the floor minus to minus ceiling windows overlooking the dazzling night view of Victoria Harbor, Zhang Hui told Wen Yilu firmly, "Someday, we will stand at the very top." Day-by-day companionship turned reliance into deep love. When Yilu repeatedly suggested publicizing their relationship, but Zhang Hui always put her off with delays. When their studio stabilized, he told her to wait for further development when she was nominated for Best Actress. He insisted she wait until she won the award. Growing exhausted, when Yilu issued an ultimatum. Either get married officially or break up. After a long silence, Zhang Hui finally agreed. They simply had a casual meal at his parents' barbecued meat shop as their wedding feast. When Yilu thought making their marriage public was only a matter of time, yet nothing changed afterward. They remained nothing more than rumored ambiguous agent turned artist, and even the intimacy between husband and wife faded away. Back in mainland China, when Yilu threw herself fully into work schedules and commercial shoots, deliberately keeping herself busy to avoid contact with Zhang Hui. A few days later, her assistant Juju brought shocking news. Zhang Hui planned to transfer her high-send luxury brand endorsement to a new rising star Song Lu. This endorsement was the very first brand deal Zhang Hui had secured for her, once called a token of their affection by him, yet he gave it away effortlessly. When Yilu called Zhang Hui repeatedly, only getting no answer or being blocked outright, she drove straight to the film shooting base where Song Lu was working. Facing Zhang Hui, she asked directly why he transferred her endorsement without prior discussion. He replied infuriately that since she ignored his calls, the brand needed a replacement. So Song Lu took her place. Seeing his cold indifference, when Yilu said calmly, "Zhang Hui, I want to terminate our agency contract." Zhang Hui froze for a moment, his first thought being calculating liquidated damages and potential losses, when Yilu cut him off, stating she would pay every penny she owed without hesitation. Enraged, Zhang Hui grabbed her by the neck and spoke hurtfully. When Yilu, "Don't overestimate your own importance." She looked straight into his eyes and retorted that if she meant so little to him, he should let her go peacefully. Their conversation ended on bad terms, plunging them into their worst Cold War ever. Zhang Hui suspended all her work publicly, claiming she needed time to adjust her mental state. When Yilu secluded herself at home, watching movies day and night, falling back into the lonely days when she was just a struggling extra. Though life was hard back then, she had hope for the future now that she had achieved fame and success. She had lost all her aspirations. Soon afterward, Juju sent her a news link showing Zhang Hui attending brand events alongside Song Lu. When reporters questioned their relationship, Zhang Hui smiled ambiguously, neither confirming nor denying it, leaving endless room for romantic speculation. Staring at the scene on screen, when Yilu finally realized the truth, it was never the wrong timing to go public, but simply the wrong person. He was willing to leave ambiguous space for other women, yet always refused to grant her a legitimate public identity. 5 years of pent-up grievances burst forth at last, and silent tears streamed down her cheeks. She thoroughly understood that she had never held a special place in Zhang Hui's heart. Taking advantage of her work hiatus, when Yilu returned to her hometown in Beijing to live a leisurely life, making up for all the time she had neglected herself, Jessica, her former drama tutor from her further studies in Paris, flew over specially to keep her company upon hearing her decision to quit the industry. They wandered around Beijing freely, drinking and chatting casually by Huai Lake. Talking about Zhang Hui, Jessica told her frankly that he had never purely used her. He sincerely strived for acting roles for her and funded her overseas further education out of genuine care. Yet precisely because he was not utterly evil, his love mixed with worldly interest became an invisible obstacle holding her back. You just refuse to admit that the person who treats you well is also destroying you bit by bit. Jessica's words awakened the confused Yilu. On the day of contract termination, When Yilu saw Jessica off, once again invited to join her drama troupe in Paris, she accepted the offer this time, promising to head to Paris once she settled all domestic affairs. The termination scene was far from peaceful, swarmed by crowds of fans and journalists downstairs. Standing by the second-floor French windows, Zhang Hui watched her leave coldly, as if observing an irrelevant farce. Protected by Juju when Yilu stepped into the elevator, her assistant choked up, revealing that Zhang Hui had forbidden anyone to offer her help and even ordered Juju to serve Songlu from then on. When Yilu advised Juju to follow Songlu wholeheartedly for a promising career. Inside the meeting room, when Yilu laid out the divorce agreement and termination contract before Zhang Hui signed her name and pushed a pen toward him, instead of signing, Zhang Hui reached out to press his hand over hers. The warm touch made her tremble instinctively, reminding her how long it had been since they had any intimate contact. This long-awaited marriage had long existed in name only. She pulled her hand back, telling him to sign and mail the documents to her before turning away. Walking past the corridor lined with her own posters, all she longed for was to escape this place completely. That very day, when Yilu flew to Paris to start a brand-new life, stepping out of her comfort zone was undeniably tough, with the language barrier being her first hurdle. She devoted herself fully to script study and French practice, leading a simple routine of rehearsals, meals and rest. Though life was strenuous, it became pure and fulfilling. She thought of Zhang Hui less and less, and her feelings for him gradually faded away. Under Jessica's professional guidance, when Yilu made remarkable progress, her troupe's plays were staged across Paris, Berlin and Milan, selling out every show. She finally rediscovered her original passion for acting and her true self. 2 years later, the drama troupe launched a global tour, with Hong Kong listed on the schedule. When Yilu stared at the city's name for a long while and finally decided to go, Jessica informed her that one major shareholder of Hong Kong's Grand Theatre would inspect the performances, and that shareholder was none other than Zhang Hui. She chose not to decline, believing deliberate avoidance would only prove she had not let go of the past. Their first meeting was held in a theater private booth. Zhang Hui pushed the door open, still dressed in a neat white shirt, poised and sophisticated. No longer the unknown nobody who once drank endlessly with investors. He sat opposite her. Their eyes met briefly before when Yilu quickly lowered her head to read the script, stirring up all her heart-wrenching past memories once again. After the meeting, everyone gathered for dinner. All dishes were specially arranged by Zhang Hui, exactly those from Yilu's favorite restaurant in the past. The familiar flavors evoked old memories, yet she could taste no joy in them anymore. When young partners proposed a toast to Yilu, Zhang Hui stepped forward abruptly, drained the glass in one gulp, and went on to drink all toasts without refusal, mixing liquor and red wine recklessly. When Yilu knew there was no need for a man of his status to act like this, he did it all on purpose. Eventually, he suffered severe stomach discomfort and was carried to the hospital on a stretcher. As he passed by Yilu, he suddenly opened his eyes and brushed his fingertips lightly against the hem of her clothes, leaving in an instant. At night, Juju texted Yilu, asking if she intended to visit Zhang Hui in hospital. She simply replied, no. She had thought she would suffer from insomnia, yet she slept soundly through the whole night. Early the next morning, Jessica held up her phone toward her. Their secret marriage, contract termination, and divorce had all been fully exposed online, triggering heated public discussions everywhere. Zhang Hui soon held a press conference. Dressed in hospital gown with reddened eyes, he openly admitted their 5-year secret marriage in front of the public, confessing that he had let Yilu down and shouldered all the blame alone. Instead of breaking down in tears, when Yilu felt an empty void in her heart as silent tears rolled down her cheeks, releasing all her suppressed emotions. After calming herself down, she said to Jessica softly, let's go for rehearsal. During the tour period, Zhang Hui showed up at the theater every day, arriving before rehearsals began and leaving right after they ended, never disturbing her yet impossible to ignore. The whole troupe whispered about their relationship. Jessica asked if she wanted to drive him away, but when Yilu declined, for she truly cared no longer. After the final rehearsal one day, everyone left, leaving only a single stage lamplit in the empty theater. Zhang Hui called out to stop when Yilu. He walked to the edge of the stage and looked up at her, recalling their first encounter when she scolded others in broken Cantonese in that hotel alley. He took out a ring from his pocket and held it up against the light, his voice trembling with emotion. Yilu, I regret everything. I have kept this ring all along, hoping to earn your forgiveness someday and hold that wedding ceremony in Fontainebleau for you. When Yilu refused him gently, there's no need. He begged for a second chance, yet she shook her head and walked toward the backstage, unwilling to give up. He shouted hoarsely for a reason, admitting he had tried every means yet failed to trace her whereabouts after she left. When Yilu paused in her steps and turned around, I am an illegitimate daughter. My mother spent her whole life loving my father yet was never acknowledged by him. I grew up enduring endless gossip and stares, doing my utmost to avoid repeating her fate. You have never once asked about all these things. Zhang Hui froze on the spot, his eyes red and moist, losing all his former calm and certainty, containing the tremor in her voice. When Yilu told him she needed no grand wedding nor public recognition from anyone, and left without looking back, leaving only his soft sobs echoing in the empty theater. The grand final show ended perfectly to thunderous applause. Juju rushed onto the stage holding white chamois flowers, tearfully telling when Yilu that Song Lu had failed to satisfy the luxury brand and lost the endorsement cooperation completely after taking over the deal. Zhang Hui had also repeatedly asked Juju about her whereabouts, yet never got any news. When Yilu listened quietly without responding, knowing all these things no longer mattered to her. Stepping out of the theater, the cool night breeze of Hong Kong brushed against her face. Zhang Hui leaned beside his car. Seeing her walk out, he stood straight and whispered sincerely, Yilu, wish you all the best. When Yilu kept walking forward and waved casually, bidding him farewell just like an ordinary acquaintance. 5 years of secret marriage ended in futile obsession. At the peak of her career as a Grand Slam Best Actress, when Yilu chose to step down from the spotlight, cast off all fame and vanity, and rediscover her authentic self, Zhang Hui only learned to cherish what he had lost until it was too late. Yet some hurts, once inflicted, could never be undone. From then on, they went their separate ways and lived their own peaceful lives. The vast world holds endless possibilities, and Brand Minus new bright scenery is always waiting for those who dare to move forward wholeheartedly.